Hey everybody, I'm Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. I'm here with Robert Julian, who is an artist who does the most amazing coin art you have ever seen in your life. Robert, I just kind of want to give the floor to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how this all started and like what's going on with you in your coin art.
I'd retired about 6 years ago now, and I was spending a lot of time on the internet, just going to penny collector groups, those kinds of things on Facebook, a lot of Facebook stuff, um, taking and sharing my collection on the penny collector stuff. And then as I was watching all this one day, a guy posted a picture of a seated dollar. I thought it was real nice. And I just thought to myself, I might be able to do something like that. When I was working or first got started in my career, I did a ton of technical illustrations. I spent about 30 years on a drafting board doing technical illustrations, master artwork for different things, illustrations for uh, chemical plants and refineries, things that had to be pretty detailed work. And a lot of my stuff ended up in technical manuals and sales brochures, sales stuff. So uh, I I did a drawing of a Lincoln cent, right? And I posted it on the Lincoln cent site, and everyone liked it, so on and so forth. And one day, a guy, Bill Corum, reached out to me and asked if I could do a drawing of his 1909 matte proof Lincoln. So I did that drawing for him, and he got it. He really liked it. He asked me to do a drawing of his 55 double die, which I did, posted those things on the Penny Group. And then other people started reaching out um, to have me do drawings of their coins. And one of the guys who reached out to me was a fellow named Barry Johnson. He got my drawing. Um, he was really kind of, got all excited about it. And then he started helping me with my uh, presence on the internet and presenting my artwork to these people. I decided it's time to be at a show. So I checked around, and in the Chicago area, I live in the Chicago area. The big show in the Chicago area every year is the Central States Show. So I got reached out to them. They got me a booth in what they were calling, I think, the collectors marketplace. Anyway, it wasn't on the main bourse, right? The main bourse had like hundreds of tables everywhere, and they took and for like more common collectible stuff, they had a room upstairs um, that had about 30 tables in it. And I was in the very last corner of the room. So if you went, you walked around the main floor of this thing, uh, and then you still had energy left after doing all that, and then you decided to go to the thing upstairs to see that. The very last person you'd see is me, right? So I'm up there, and I'm having a good time chatting with all the people up there, complaining that there really isn't much traffic because everyone's down on the main floor. But people would come up, and one day I went around and I passed out what I call my business cards. What I did was I didn't have any business cards, so I printed up examples of my uh, drawings on 3x5 photos, right? And I went downstairs, and on the back I put a label, said who I was, what booth I was at. And I went and I just put these on all the dealers' tables, right? And then after a while, um, as the show went on, people would start coming up and looking me out. So they'd come over, find my booth. Um, I'd sell some prints here and there. Um, but I'd be talking to these people who had come up, and I'd have no clue who any of these guys were, just no clue. And I met like some of the nicest people in doing this, really nice people. Uh,
Basically, what happened, Robert, is that you showed a little bit of your work and these people came to you. That's where it came from. That's how you started doing this.
right, right. I just started showing it around. Um, and then people started coming to me. So I'm at the show and people are coming up asking me and they want to know what it would take to do a drawing of their particular coin. Um, and I'm talking to some people and I start getting people to order commissions. They want me to do a drawing of a special coin in their collection or a special coin here. And then so I picked up, you know, 4, 5 commissions. There was a guy on there whose name's he goes by Elite, right? So uh, I'm at the show and I get a text from this elite guy that I was just chatting a bit with about his collection and such. And he asks me, if I had, if I could do some commission work for him. And I go, yeah, sure. I've got right now, I've got 4 people in front of you right now, but I'd be glad to jump on it after that. And so he says, yeah, I'll take 10. So he ordered 10 commissions uh, on the thing without really getting into all the details about what all's involved with the whole thing. But I don't know who he is and stuff, but he's got more money than God, I think. He owns the 33 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, right? He's the guy who owns that. And his collection, this is one of the drawings I did for him. I just showed you. This was the uh, 27D St. Gaudens, right? So all this stuff is on my website, but the that coin, that is just a killer coin. I spent an incredible amount of time on this because I asked him if he wanted me to uh, do the drawing as exact to the original as possible, or if he wanted me to take and kind of, and eliminate any little dings or hits here and there. He says, no, he wanted it exactly as it was. Almost a month getting those the obverse and reverse drawn on that coin, and I'm I'm thrilled. It is one of my favorite drawings. The colors just came out, and the luster, the way it came out, it's it's a great drawing.
People can go to your website and they can see, and I'll have a link down in the description of the video so they can see the website. They can see some of your drawings. They can order your prints, and if they want to save some money, they can use the coupon code we have there too, SPEG 2025, and they get a little discount on your art. But all of your art that I've seen is breathtaking. One of the ones that drew me into you was the Trime that you made. And why I
Oh
like
yeah,
that art so much, Robert, is because when you have a trime in your hand, you're squinting, right? You're trying to see this thing. You're using a
yeah.
loupe magnifying glass. You can never see that coin, the beauty for what it is, unless you blow it up somewhere on your computer or whatever. You got to blow it up to really enjoy that coin. You've done that with the art and you've made it into where you can be behind, you can look at it while you're drinking coffee in your house. You can be watching TV, look over at your wall and see that beautiful, piece of art, that coin, that trime that before you had to squint to see. Now it's right there, readily available in large size for you to see. And that's what I like so much is that it's wherever you want it to be. It's not locked up in your safe. It's right there, ready to go. And so I think that your stuff is great, because of that.
I think that's where a lot of the commissions pretty much come from. It's like the coins I'm drawing, they're just insane. Right now, I'm drawing a 1853 O Arrows and Rays $50. It's like the finest known example of this coin. There's only like 5 of them are in PCGS uncirculated. It's crazy, just crazy. I cannot even imagine how much that guy spent for this $50. But when I'm done, he's going to be able to take it and hang the original art in his home, his office, his shop, wherever he wants to hang it. It's just an honor to draw this stuff. Everyone I do, I try to improve upon the last one I did.
I'm telling some kind of like industry secret, you just say that you don't want to talk about it, okay? But the pieces behind you are pieces that you drew and you use colored pencil only to make these things?
Yeah, this is the Lincoln here. This is one of the first drawings I did, but this particular drawing, um, I was I was more artistic. The first thing I do when I get my set of colored pencils is I rearrange them not by color but by hue, right? So that they'll start out with colors, goes everything from the lightest possible hue to the darkest hue. And the thing about colors that's weird is that you can look at a colored pencil and you can think it's going to be dark, right? When you're drawing with it, think it's dark. But when you convert it to a grayscale, now you end up with something that's more of a mid-tone as opposed to something that's dark. And and a lot of people have trouble with that. I have trouble with it. Um, and that's why when I do all my drawings, the first thing I do is a grayscale. Okay, this is an original drawing of the 1909 again for the Mint collection, right? And this is all done in black, white, grayscale colored pencils, right? The reason I draw it like this first is is to get the contrast and the depth right, right? To make sure that what's black is black, what's white is white, and all the shades in between are correct. And then I'll take that, I scan that drawing, print it out on a new piece of drawing paper, and I'll then take that and start layering colors on top of it, right? So it gives me a good, um, you know, basis to start layering the different colors on. And then I'll layer colors on and I'll get to a point where the paper is saturated with the colored pencil, or I'll want to be doing some lighter line work on top of dark. And then I'll start it over again. I'll take that, I'll scan it, print it out on a fresh piece of paper, and then I'll keep drawing on top of that. And when I started doing that, I found that things just started getting much more realistic, a lot more depth than when I would just try to draw it like all in one shot. So other people can do that. Other people can draw where it's, they just do the entire drawing on one piece of paper, all the color, black and white. I have a lot of trouble with that. So when I do a drawing, I end up with the monochrome master drawings and then the full color artwork at the end when it's all done. Um, and then that allows me to, for example, I did a drawing of the Missouri commemorative $50.
Saw
Uh,
that. Beautiful.
right. So I did that drawing and I just made up the tones on that. A lot of those coins, they're just like these dark reddish brown that just really aren't attractive at all. So finding one that I liked was difficult. So when I did that drawing, I just made it up. I just used whatever colors I wanted. Um, and then afterwards, a guy got in touch with me and said, "Hey, I saw that, but I'd like one of my coin with my toning on it." So instead of starting over again, I took the monochrome master I had, made some modifications to that to show there were a couple of like scratches or marks on his coin that he wanted to be there. So I added those to it and then I toned it to match or color pencilized it, whatever, to match his particular coin. And that's the other one that's shown on my site. So there are two versions of that coin. And doing that is more reasonable in price than doing it from scratch. So it takes me about 40, 50, depending on the coin, 60 hours to draw one of these, right? But once that's done, doing the color work afterwards takes me probably about 20, 25 hours a coin to get that done. So um, taking this buffalo nickel and toning it to match your buffalo nickel and making it match up is about half the price doing it from scratch.
With all of your pieces, all your prints are limited, right? So it's not like you just have infinite. They are a certain amount that you have.
Yeah, yeah, all the prints like this,
Yeah.
I only do right now, I only do 100. So there's gonna be 100 of this particular print, but that includes the different formats. Like, there's a couple of different formats in this print, but every time I sell one of those, that's another one of the 100. So
Gotcha.
I'm not selling 100 of each format,
Well,
to
it's just nice. I'm sure that people love that there are things that you have that are, limited. You know what I mean? You can't just have infinite of these pieces, which makes it more special. Also, you started getting into currency, right? Bills.
Oh yeah, yeah. I take and can't see it from there, but
I'm not an artist at all, Robert, but that has to be way harder than coins.
this, er, right? You see that kind
That's
of.
amazing.
So this is the second, this is the original drawing of this, right? So this is the second uh, attempt I did at the bill. The first one I've got hanging on the wall over here. Um, I drew it at too small a scale. So it came out as all like shades of gray, black and white, shades of gray. It didn't come out um, like the bills, they're all individual lines. It's little dots and lines, dots and lines, dots and lines. And I wanted to achieve that. So I found the scale that I have to draw at. And to do a bill, basically you end up with two two drawings that are going to be about this size, right? And one will be half the bill and the other be the other half of the bill. And that allows me to get the detail the way I want it. But then when I format the prints for the customer, I bring those into Photoshop and I merge the two so that it looks like one bill. I think on my site there's a 1,000 shilling um, Austrian note from 1984. Strange story on that one. But the guy, he wanted me to do a bill. He wanted me to do this because it had some tie to his personal life between, something that occurred between him and his wife when they were in Germany, kind of a thing. So it was memorable for that. But the bill, I drew a circulated 1,000 shilling Austrian note that I think if you bought it in a shop would cost you about $8, kind of a thing. But he had me do a 1984 because that was the date he was born. And he changed me. I changed the serial number to match his kids and their birth dates and the day that they got married, kind of a thing. Um, and I had a great time drawing that, but that was crazy. It took me like 6 weeks to get that project done. Right. It's a real pretty note, but it's not anything that I don't think there's going to be a big demand for that in the marketplace. Right.
Well, some of the pieces that are in our hobby, Robert, are like not incredibly expensive, which is great about numismatics. There's all, things for every budget. Some things you just want to see on your wall. You know what I mean? There's so many beautiful pieces out there. Like, for instance, I got right here, less than $100 for this Libertad right here. But having a Libertad up on somebody's wall, somebody would love that. You know what I mean? You know what a Libertad is? Yeah. But it's a little Mexican Libertad. Having that up big size on somebody's wall is great. So I think it's neat what you're doing, and I tried while we were sitting here talking, Robert. I don't know if you can see this, but I tried to do a little art. I drew a 1921 Morgan dollar.
That looks just like it. That would be good on
Yeah, it's
Halloween.
pretty close. It's pretty close. I'm only charging a fraction of what you charge for this. So if anybody out there hit me up. They can have access to that. I, I those pieces that nobody will ever get access to, they can only see in pictures in some magazine. Now it can be on their wall,
Yeah,
as a print. And so that's just a wonderful thing. So, again, I think it's great what you're doing. I'm very impressed. I'm the kind of person that has all these ideas in my head of art that I want to do, and then it comes out like I showed you like this. So I'm always very impressed with people that can actually take it in their head and put it on paper.
yeah. Um, I just have a lot of fun with it, you know. It's I'd always been interested in art when um, I was in school. It was all just art and music, art and music, art and music, art and music. That's all it was. And when took and I got engaged to my wife, I was living in my parents' basement. I was playing in a band in the local bar scene in Chicago and doing paintings that just wouldn't sell kind of stuff. So I got engaged, and the response was how is he going to be able to support you? He can't even move out of his parents' basement.
Robert, I don't want to take up all your time. I know you have a busy life and you have other things you have to go on. So I want to add a few things, and I want people to definitely go to your website. They can use that coupon code again, SPEG 2025. They want to save a good chunk of change on one of your prints, which I think is great. But I think that if I can just give you some opinion of that, I've been thinking of this whole time. I think you can go deeper than just prints with these. I think that people would love to see these prints on like a mouse pad on their shirts, you know what I mean, on other things that are like a coaster, you know what I mean, like for their drink. I
Yeah,
think a cup when they drink out of their coffee cup, they'd love to see some of these coins that they've loved all their lives that maybe they have in their collection or they have just dreamt about. And right there, so I think that the sky's the limit on this right here, and I hope you do very well, and I hope that my viewers actually go check you out because I think it's worth their time.
if any of them are in the Chicago area and going to be at the Central States Show in April, I'm going to be displaying a large scale painting of a St. Gaudens high relief that should be really nice when it's all said and done. So that'll be there. And I like to chat with people and talk about their collections and stuff. It's a fun time, right?
That's the best part I think about this hobby is when we get out of our comfort zone. Like some people that don't want to be out in the limelight, they don't want their collection to be known. But when we do talk about our collection with other like-minded collectors and people that love numismatics, it's so interesting and it's so fun. Which is why I have this YouTube channel because I want that gap to be bridged. I want people to know about numismatics. I want people to talk about it. That's always been my goal is to spread the hobby. So you're doing it right now with your art and stuff, and you're helping people to get stuff right there in their face, on their walls and stuff. So I think what you're doing is great. I mentioned that before. I can't say it enough. I'm, very genuine about that. And I thank you for giving me the time to talk with you. Anything else you
Oh,
want to say on the outro?
um, now anybody when they go to my site, feel free to reach out with any questions or comments or concerns. You know, um, when I do commissions for people, I like to give them what it is that they want, and love working with all these people and everyone I've met. Just wonderful people. Great time.
It's a good hobby. There's a lot of good people here. With your permission, I'd like to actually in this video put some pictures that you've done, some of the paintings and well, I say paintings, but some of the colored pencilings that you've done. I'd like to do that if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah, feel free, and give a link to the site. That'd be great, and along with the that coupon code I gave you, so that uh, anyone interested can save. I think what is 25%
I know it's a
is
good
what we
chunk
set up
for
for.
sure. I checked it out earlier. It's a nice little dip on the price. So thank you very much for offering that to the viewers. Robert, thank you again. I appreciate you for giving us something really cool for this hobby and spending some time with me here and the viewers. Hopefully we hear from you again. I don't want to be a stranger because I think what you're doing is great. So if you have any really cool prints or art that you're just totally just impressed with on your own, send it to me. I'll post it on my page so that people can see it. Maybe they can go grab one of your limited edition prints right then and there as they come out.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time, and catch you later.
Well, hello everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. You know, when I was a kid, we did this every day in school, and I believe we need to bring this back a little bit, and I'm going to start right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.